Your guest room is a perishable product, so pricing and customer happiness remain extremely important variables. To stay on top of this, you need to understand revenue management and why it's important. I'll explain. Welcome to another edition of Hospitality Property School. I am your instructor, Jerry McPherson. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. And make sure to hit the little bell so you'll be informed when I upload a new video. You won't want to miss anything I designed especially for you. Why did you want to become a hospitality property owner? Was it the idea of becoming an innkeeper or hotelier and greeting guests sounded appealing? Were you tired of the rat race and wanted to take control of your own destiny? Or, like most owners, you wanted to make money, or even better, to make more money in less time. Now, one of the main factors you need to be successful and to make more money in less time is for you to understand revenue management and why it is important. It is what propels hotels, resorts, inns, and bed and breakfast success. It does not matter the size of your property. A guest room is a perishable product, since the number of guest rooms you have is defined. For this reason, pricing and customer happiness remains very important variables, which are the subject to hospitality property revenue management. Effectively managing rates and availability while watching all the different key performance markers takes talent and training. Branded hospitality property chains have departments that only focus on these reports, which result in a well-organized revenue management strategy. This is not the same for smaller properties because time and resources are limited, causing them to take a short-term approach to revenue management. Knowing how to understand the reports is an invaluable resource because they can help hospitality property owners make choices that will result in positive outcomes. Key Performance Indicators, or KPIs. You need to know and understand the following numbers to manage the revenue of your hospitality property: the occupancy rate, the average daily rate, or ADR, revenue per available room, or RevPAR, and total revenue, that's rooms sold. Okay, let's start with occupancy rate. This is one of the easiest metrics you can check. It is the percentage of occupied rooms compared to the total rooms over a certain period of time. In other words, occupancy equals rooms occupied divided by rooms available. Knowing these numbers will help you create the foundation of your revenue management strategy. Revenue per available room, or the RevPAR. RevPAR is an operation metric which is analyzed by multiplying hospitality property's average daily room rate by its occupancy rate. You can also analyze RevPAR by dividing a hospitality property's revenue by the number of rooms or beds it has over a desired period of time. So in other words, RevPAR equals total room revenue divided by rooms available. RevPAR only uses room revenue, and it does not include other revenue streams such as upgrades or restaurant revenue. You can use this analysis to compare performance to other properties, but it could fluctuate greatly by property type. Average daily rate, or ADR. ADR calculates the average price per room and helps you determine how much money was brought in per room. You calculate ADR by taking the room revenue and dividing it by the number of paid rooms occupied. In other words, ADR equals room revenue divided by paid rooms occupied. Now, ADR only considers the rooms that were sold. It does not include vacant rooms. Now, other important metrics to keep in mind and to consider when creating reports include total rooms sold, total revenue, and revenue divided by categories, such as rooms, restaurants, spas, etc. Now, I'm going to share with you techniques the big brands use and how you can replicate them. It all starts with the approach to revenue management. You have to take a long-term approach. Use market information, analysis. One of the major differences between large branded hospitality properties and smaller independent properties is forecasting. Quite often, an independent property owner will look at the current month's revenue and forecast and might make decisions that will affect the entire year. A larger or branded hospitality property will take a look at how the current day and month play into a season, a quarter, and a year. Even though smaller independent hospitality properties do not have the same resources as larger properties, there are a few things you can do. Take a long-term approach. When you only look at your revenue strategy on a monthly basis, your property could be leaving money on the table. Larger properties generally look at revenue and rates by quarters and seasons rather than months. When you take a more long-term approach to rates and revenues, you can more correctly react to current market conditions. For example, if you're in the high season and bookings are soft, you have an idea of what you need to make up in the following months. Or if your next month's bookings are higher than expected, you can raise the rates to make up for last month's lost revenues. If you handle your rates and revenue monthly, you are more likely to make thoughtless reactions. This means you might make needless changes that could end up costing you more than your current situation. For example, if your current bookings are too soft, your first reaction might be to reduce rates to increase demand. But if you take the whole season into consideration, you might realize that your last month's performance was pretty good, and you need not worry about fewer bookings at regular prices. More guests in your property doesn't always mean more revenue generated. This is why your ADR is so important. You can lower your rates and generate more demand, but you have to make sure your revenues and profits are still higher. The thing to remember here is that you should be looking at your rate and revenue targets by quarter or season instead of monthly. Every property is different, so there's no definite forecast structure that makes sense for every property. Are you staying with me so far? Let me know by leaving a short comment. Use market information. Large branded hospitality properties have the benefit of knowledge. They have the resources to purchase market reports that includes information about rates, availability, and projected demand. If you don't have the resources to buy your own market research reports, because they are expensive, you can check with your local tourism websites or office for up-to-date information. Tourism offices often publicly release information on demand forecasts, upcoming events, and other information that could be useful when planning out demand that influences rates. You want to make yourself aware of market trends, as well as local travel trends, to have the most success. Knowledge is power, and you want to prepare yourself as much as possible. Write analysis. Large branded hospitality properties write analysis every month that report on how rates and revenue performed. Now, this could be very time-consuming for any hospitality property owner, so you might want to consider just analyzing those months where you don't meet your goals. This is important because it means that you do not have to correctly read the market. Detailed reports containing how and why you missed your goals will help you prevent making those mistakes in the future. Analyses are particularly helpful for the same season next year, when the market trends tend to copy each other. Without analysis, you might not remember exactly what happened a full year earlier. Once you're comfortable with putting together the analysis, you can start doing the same for the good months. If you make a decision and read your market correctly, you will likely want to remember what you did to replicate it in the future. In conclusion, by learning and understanding the key performance indicators and following the 3 steps to revenue management, take a long-term approach, use market information and analysis, you'll be able to operate your hospitality property like the large branded properties and stay ahead of your competition. Do you have a program in place for your revenue management? Which ones do you use? Let me know in the comments. If you're a member of the Hospitality Property School Group, I'm going to take a more detailed look at the reports you need for your revenue management strategy. In the next episode, I will be taking a close look at your hospitality property rooms. P.S. Have you been checking out the Insider Tips series, released every Thursday? Make sure to check them out at KeystoneHospitalityDevelopment.com or on YouTube by searching Insider Tips. That's INNSIDER Tips. Now, if you like this video, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and if you're going to implement any of these procedures. You can support this free podcast by leaving us a review and giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you happen to be listening to it. Every review helps more people find the podcast at no cost to you. If you know someone who might benefit from this video, please feel free to share it and make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate the feedback. Be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for your attention, and let's continue to work together to put heads in your beds. Until next time, have a fun day.